When it came to politics and business, it used to be that the biggest fights were over things like taxes, tariffs, and unions, but that is just not the case anymore. Yahoo Finance's editor-in-chief, Andy Serwer, is here to explain. Andy, you write about the divisiveness is not just limited to politics and media today, that it has come to investing. How so?
Yeah, Shauna, it maybe is a sad state of affairs that all this divisiveness is not limited to politics and media, as you say, but has come to investing. And what do I mean by that? Well, it's actually all about ESG, environmental, social, and governance investing, and now the backlash against it. You know, ESG investing has been around for quite some time. Really, over the past 10 years, it's been building. And what that means is that institutional investors and pension funds and money managers have been pushing an agenda where they're looking for investment vehicles and products that only invest in companies that are adhering to these guidelines, and also pressuring companies to meet these guidelines. What's happened now over the past year or so is that politicians in red states have been pushing back against these guidelines and against pension funds and money managers, BlackRock in particular, against those kinds of companies and saying, we don't want our state funds invested in these types of products. And particularly if they're boycotting, for instance, investing in oil and gas. You're seeing a lot of states in the oil patch pushing against this kind of activity.
So you've got 19 states attorneys general looking at this. Are we talking about institutional investors or retail?
Yeah, Dave, it's interesting because right now the push is against those institutions. But if you think about it, where else are they going to go? I mean, the big three, you've got BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard, right? And so if you're a pension fund, you can't really go anywhere else to a great degree. I mean, you can just invest directly in Exxon stock or Chevron, but if you want funds, you're invariably going to be looking at that. So that has yet to play out in terms of the creation of products for institutions. On the retail front, there's a new company called Strive, which has money from Peter Thiel and Bill Ackman, among others. And they've actually created a new product for retail. It's an ETF called Drill, which is investing in oil and gas companies, and says that they're going to pursue a mandate where these companies, the oil and gas companies, will not or should not be pursuing any ESG goals. So in a way, it's going back to shareholder capitalism, you guys, and away from stakeholder capitalism.
So Andy, where do you think this is all headed?
Yeah, I mean, to me, of course, Shauna, this divisiveness is unsettling, and it's disturbing, and it's unfortunate. And I think what's going on here, you guys, is a lot of people are looking at all kinds of problems in our society and economy through a binary lens. It's either this or that. And of course, when you're talking about something like the energy transition away from fossil fuels to sustainable sources, it's not binary. And I think it's the fact that people need to recognize that, yes, we need to transition away. It's not going to happen right away, though. And we may need some incentives. And, it is possible to believe in climate change and also to potentially invest in oil and gas for a limited period of time. And so if people just use a little common sense, I think we can kind of take the temperature down. People won't get so excited by oftentimes people who have an agenda on both the left and the right when it comes to these types of activities.
We could all use a turning down of the temperature and the political environment we are in. Andy Serwer, good to see you, sir. Enjoy the weekend.